Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Numbers chapter 20. This chapter is broken down into three main sections. First, we see the death of Miriam and the people crying out for water. Then we see Israel trying to pass through Edom. And finally, the death of Aaron, but not before he has the opportunity to pass the mantle of high priest over to his son. In the first month, the whole community of Israel arrived at the desert of Zin. They stayed at Kadesh. Miriam died and was buried there. The people didn't have any water, so they gathered together to oppose Moses and Aaron. They argued with Moses. They said, "We wish we had died when our people fell dead in front of the Lord. Why did you bring the Lord's people into this desert? We and our livestock will die here. Why did you bring us up out of Egypt? Why did you bring us to this terrible place? It doesn't have any grain or figs. It doesn't have any grapes or pomegranates. There isn't even any water for us to drink." Moses and Aaron left the people. They went to the entrance to the tent of meeting. There they fell with their faces to the ground. Then the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord said to Moses, "Get your walking stick. You and your brother Aaron gather the people together. Then speak to that rock while everyone is watching. It will pour out its water. You will bring water out of the rock for the community. Then they and their livestock can drink it." So Moses took the walking stick from the tent. He did just as the Lord had commanded. He and Aaron gathered the people together in front of the rock. Moses said to them, "Listen, you who refuse to obey. Do we have to bring water out of this rock for you?" Then Moses raised his arm. He hit the rock twice with his walking stick. Water poured out, and the people and their livestock drank it. But the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron. He said, "You did not trust in me enough to honor me. You did not honor me as the holy God in front of the Israelites. So you will not bring this community into the land I am giving them." Those were the waters of Meribah. That's where the Israelites argued with the Lord, and that's where he was proven to be holy among them. This part starts off with Miriam's death. This actually gives us a time frame. She lived to be about 126 years old. This is the 40th year that they've been walking around in the desert. So it's been almost 40 years since the previous verses that we were reading. When the people are calling out for water, yes, they're whining, yes, they're complaining, but this is nothing new. This is what they've been doing the whole time. The difference, though, is Moses and Aaron and their reaction to it. Because now it's been 40 plus years for them. They are tired. Each of them is about 120 years old. And they're tired of putting up with the Israelites. So instead of just doing what God said and speaking to the rock and water coming out, if that occurred, God would get all the glory. Instead, Moses called out the people, and he said that they refused to obey, and he struck the rock twice. He took credit for a miracle that was supposed to belong to God. And this is the reason why Moses isn't going to enter the promised land. Because even though it's in a moment of weakness, Moses, the leader of the people, took honor away from God for himself. And even leaders do not get off scot-free. There's always going to be a punishment for their sin as well. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. The messengers said, "The nation of Israel is your brother. They say, 'You know about all the hard times we've had. Long ago our people went down into Egypt. We lived there for many years. The Egyptians treated us and our people badly, but we cried out to the Lord. He heard our cry. He sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. Now here we are at the town of Kadesh. It's on the edge of your territory. Please let us pass through your kingdom. We won't go through any field or vineyard. We won't drink any water from any well. We'll travel along the king's highway. We won't turn to the right or left. We'll just go straight through your territory." But the people of Edom answered, "We won't let you pass through here. If you try to, we'll march out against you. We'll attack you with our swords." The Israelites replied, "We'll go along the main road. We and our livestock won't drink any of your water. If we do, we'll pay for it. We only want to walk through your country. That's all we ask." Again, the people of Edom answered, "We won't let you pass through here." Then the people of Edom marched out against them. They came with a large and powerful army. Edom refused to let Israel go through their territory, so Israel turned away from them. We've seen several times in this chapter alone, it talks about the livestock of Israel. The reason why it does that is because Israel, they were shepherds. They had cows, they had sheep, they just had a bunch of animals. They weren't necessarily warriors. And when they make an appeal to Edom at the beginning, saying, "We're your brothers," that's not far from the truth. Edomites were the descendants of Esau, while the Israelites are the descendants of Jacob. Jacob and Esau were brothers. They actually had the same ancestors in Abraham and Isaac. And so the Israelites were trying to make an appeal to that. But it's been hundreds of years by this point. And Jacob and Esau weren't exactly on friendly terms when they parted. I can understand why the Edomites would not want Israel to pass through. Even though they were shepherds, you're still talking millions of people wanting to pass through your land. I would be very skeptical if 1 million people wanted to come across my backyard as well. The whole community of Israel started out from Kadesh. They arrived at Mount Hor. It was near the border of Edom. There the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron. He said, "Aaron will join the members of his family who have already died. He will not enter the land I'm giving to the Israelites. Both of you refused to obey my command. You did it at the waters of Meribah. So get Aaron and his son Eleazar. Take them up to Mount Hor. Take Aaron's official robes off of him. Put them on his son Eleazar. Aaron will die on Mount Hor. He will join the members of his family who have already died." Moses did just as the Lord had commanded. The 3 men went up Mount Hor while the whole community was watching. Moses took Aaron's official robes off of him. He put them on Aaron's son Eleazar, and Aaron died there on top of the mountain. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. The whole community found out that Aaron had died, so all the Israelites mourned for him for 30 days. This has to be particularly hard on Moses for 2 main reasons. One, it's his brother. Yes, Aaron is probably 123 at this point, and Moses is 120. They've lived very long lives, but it's still your brother who has been by your side for the last 40 years. Secondly, we see that the mantle of high priest is being passed from Aaron to his son Eleazar. And that's probably a blessing from God. That's why Eleazar accompanied Aaron up on the mountain. So that way Aaron would be able to see that his position was going to continue on through his lineage, through his son. And that's probably the second reason why this would be difficult for Moses. Moses was the leader of the Israelite people, very much like Aaron. But unlike Aaron, Moses didn't have anybody to take over after him. We find out later that God has appointed Joshua to bring the Israelites into the promised land. But Joshua isn't a son of Moses at all. So Moses has to see not only his brother die, but have a close reminder that he doesn't have a son to take over after him. Well, that's it for our commentary on Numbers chapter 20. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.